Janice Ray wrote a memoir about her personal ecology. The memoir was called Ecology of a Cracker Childhood. Throughout the novel, Janice Ray uses a variety of figurative language. A simile that can be found on page 21 was, "It was like sticking your head into a wide-angle trash can." Janice is referring to how others viewed her childhood home. She grew up in a junkyard, which to others isn't quite normal. Throughout the memoir, it talks about growing up and also taking pride in where you came from. In one chapter, Janice Ray talks about how others found her family's accents peculiar. She uses this metaphor, which can be found on page 77. "Sometimes we know what a thing means before we have vocabulary for it, and bewilderment was my precocity." Personification is when you give unreal things human characteristics. The way Janice Ray describes all the nature she was exposed to, she uses a lot of personification. One of my favorite lines she wrote was on page 65, and she wrote, "As trees mature, their heartwood becomes so heavy and thick that saw blades bounce away from it, and if saw teeth manage to enter the grain, they quickly gum up and dull." One key component of the memoir is all the talk about the longleaf pine. It is native to the southeastern United States. The bark is a thick reddish-brown. The needles of the tree are dark green. The longleaf pine is one of the two southeastern pines with long needles. These pines take up to 150 years to be full-grown and can live up to be about 500 years old. One chapter in the memoir talks about indigo snakes. These snakes are said to be one of the United States' largest and longest snakes. They are a bluish-black color and almost have sort of a glossiness to them. They live mainly in Florida or on a coast near a water source. They are at the top of their food chain, and a nickname for these snakes is forest ruler, which is very true for these snakes. Another type of animal that is mentioned is the Batchman sparrow. It is a small bird and is found in the southeastern part of the United States. This sparrow is actually named after Reverend John Batchman, who was an activist for nature. Sadly, this species is becoming more and more extinct. Their habitat is getting destroyed. In life, certain things make us who we are. A few biotic factors that have helped shape my life are my two best friends, my loving and supportive family, and my dog named Shadow. Some abiotic factors that have made my life simpler are my Eno and my phone, which seems like I can't live without it. I would say out of all my biotic factors I've listed, the biggest influence in my life has to be my mom. She's my best friend, and I know no matter what, she'll always be on my side, and I'm grateful every day. I may also want to include my dog, who endures all of my long rants, even though she has no clue what I'm saying. She also plays the role of my cuddle buddy when we're watching Netflix. For abiotic factors, I would have to say my Eno. I've spent many afternoons in the spring and summertime hanging outside in it, with my friends and my family. Some memories have happened in between the two trees it hangs from. From late night talks to studying for school, it has to be one of my favorite places to go and relax. Ecology is scientific analysis and study of interactions among organisms and their environment. I think my personal ecology is defined by all the abiotic and biotic factors I mentioned in my two previous slides. Without any of those things, I wouldn't be me. Life is like a constant roller coaster. Every choice determines you. I think ecology is the same way. Everyone has a story and everyone came from somewhere.